Hi, I want to talk about the ergonomics of a vacuum lifting system. What you're looking at now is a 250-pound capacity lightweight bridge crane with a 10-foot bridge and 20-foot runway. Now there are several types of overhead cranes. A lightweight bridge crane like this can be supported from the floor or the ceiling. You can have a jib crane in which you'll have an arm like this, which will be attached to your wall or to a column, and that jib crane, can pivot on that column or wall. Or you might have a monorail or a gantry crane supporting your trolley saddle in your unit. The least amount of effort is on any monorail, jib arm, or bridge crane is on the bridge itself. This is very easy to move back and forth. The bridge itself will move back and forth on the runways of a bridge crane like this. And this type of a setup requires the least amount of effort from an operator. Just want to make sure that your hose is festooned properly and that your operator has very easy, effortless, horizontal movement in the workplace. Okay, now, on a bridge crane like this, I can move effortlessly under the entire crane. With a jib crane, you want to position your post or put it on a wall. Your first choice would be for your pickup and your drop-off points to be in the same straight line of the overhead arm. If you need to move laterally with the jib crane, the effort is much greater if they're operating on the inner half of that. They have to swing all that weight around, and it's the least amount of effort if they're on the outside and need to move laterally on the outside of it. Don't over-specify the weight capacity of your crane. In this case, we have a 250-pound capacity crane. If your load will always be less than 250, that's all that you want. A 500-pound capacity crane, the next step up, on a 10-foot bridge like this is about 40 pounds heavier. And that's weight that the operator has to move back and forth. The Unimove itself weighs about 25 to 30 pounds. And then you have the weight of your load that you want to move. With a monorail or a gantry type of crane, you're not going to be able to move from side to side. You're just going to move in and out. And your pickup and drop-off points must be along that line. You cannot have a drop-off point beyond, because you'll have to pendulum your load to pick it up or put it down. And doing that is not allowed in the use of any jib cranes, bridge cranes, any chain hoists, or any Unimove type vacuum lift. Okay, so get the lightest weight crane you can, and there are articulated cranes which move very nicely with an operator also. The next thing is that you don't want your trolley saddle too high. You have to transfer that movement in moving the crane overhead. You want it to be as low as possible. If you can't put your trolley saddle low enough because of equipment that you need to get above, then you can use something like a rigid drop handle to drop the hook of the Unimove lower than the trolley saddle that you've got. And that becomes important when you're handling a load. With this particular load, my suction foot goes up to about 76 inches. I would not want it higher than that because my hand would then not be able to reach the controls here. If you have to go higher than that, we have articulating handles that take the place of this, that can bring the controls down to this point. And we have what we call a rigid drop handle, which will bring those controls down to this point here. Now, I want to talk about the ergonomics of the lift. The up and down movement is effortless. The Unimove controls let you go down as slowly and up as slowly as you would like, or you can go down much faster. These controls are like the accelerator on your car. The only movement that you have to operate the in and out stroke, in, you push the handle in to go up, pull the handle out to go down. It's about a 2.5 to 3 inch stroke there, and all that I have to move are my fingertips. I put my fingertips in the control handle there, I pull out to lower, and I push in to raise it. The Teflon coated valve inside and very effortless. You notice that in order to raise and lower this, I don't really have to bend my wrist. With other types of controls, you have to bend your wrist frequently to get to the downstroke, and in motorcycle grips, you're constantly turning your wrist this way. This gives your wrist a pretty neutral posture, and the only thing, again, I have to move is my fingers like that. Controls are adjustable in and out for different size hands and up and down relative to the stroke handle here. And it's just simply a matter of the individual that's going to operate for that shift to find what's comfortable for them. Again, you don't want to have your Unimove go too high and up and out of the reach of their controls, so we can size this so that it won't go up and out of their reach. And bending down in order to lower this load and release it. My controls there were about 22 or 23 inches off the ground. So you don't have to really bend over, and you don't have any load, any weight that you're lifting. So we prefer that you use the side grab handle. That gives you the right control to move the load backwards and forwards effortlessly in the workplace. So I think this will give you a good idea of the ergonomics you need to consider when putting a vacuum lifting system like this into your workplace. Thank you very much.